Hello guys, welcome back to Works After College. I am Shashidhar and in this video we are going to discuss about some of the important topics from MP1's CO3. So the topics we are going to cover in this video are approximation algorithm and using this approximation algorithm, how do we solve vertex cover problem, and then traveling salesman problem, and then we have knapsack problem. And knapsack problem is of two types, fractional and 0-1, and in our course we have 0-1 knapsack problem, and then bin packing problem, and then convexity and concavity. So let's start with approximation algorithm. So till now, CO1 and CO2, what we studied is finding the solution for the given problem and optimizing that solution. So what's the difference between those methods and approximation algorithm? So approximation algorithm, the name itself says that this provides the solution which is near to the optimal solution, but not the optimal solution. So that's why approximation algorithm. So for approximation algorithm, we have certain things in that, C, C star, rho n and n. So what's C? C is the cost of solution, C star is the cost of optimal solution, rho n is the approximation ratio, and n is the input size. So in this approximation algorithm, we have two conditions. One is to maximize the solution and another is to minimize the solution. In maximizing the solution, we check the condition whether the ratio of C star to C is less than equal to rho n or not. And in minimization condition, we check C is to C star is less than equal to rho n or not, where rho n should always be greater than or equal to n. So I'm sure that this won't be much clear, but if I explain you with example and using this approximation algorithm, then it would be much clear. So where do we use this approximation algorithm? We use this approximation algorithm for vertex cover problem. So first we need to know what's vertex cover problem. So vertex cover problem, it is used for graphs. So what do we have in graph? In graphs you have edges and vertices. So vertices are nothing but the points, these points, and edges are nothing but these lines connecting those points. Okay, so this is a graph, these are the vertices and these are the edges. Fine. So what is vertex cover problem? Vertex cover problem says that you have to select minimum number of vertices so that you cover the whole graph. That means you cover all the edges using minimum number of vertices. Fine. Suppose you have one graph, 1, 2 and 3. These are the vertices and these are the edges. So to cover the whole graph, suppose you select 2 and 3. So your set C, which is the cost of solution, would be having 2 and 3. The size of the C is 2. But we know that the optimal solution by inspection, by seeing this graph, would be if you select this vertex 1, then you can cover both these edges. So C star, that's the optimal solution, would be 1 and its size 1. Fine. So you have this condition for minimization. C by C star should be less than equal to rho of n. So 2 by 1 should be less than equal to rho of n, which is nothing but rho n is greater than equal to 2, and you know the condition, the rho n should be greater than equal to 1. So this is satisfied. Therefore C star is equal to 1. It is the optimal solution which we found using approximation algorithm. So let's look at one more question which was asked in our test 2. See, find the minimum subset of vertices that cover the edges, all the edges, for the following vertex cover problem of an undirected graph. So the graph is given. You have edges A, B, C, D, E, F and G, and you have these edges, and you have to select the minimum number of vertices so that you cover the whole graph. Fine. So let us consider here two sets. So C is the set which contains your solution. So initially it is null, phi, which is nothing but null, and you have a set E dash, which is the set of all the edges in the graph. So what does it contain? It contains AB, edge AB, BC, CD, CE, ED, DF, EF and DG. So these are all the edges which is present in, and so on, in E dash. So while you will run a loop, while E dash is not equal to 5, you will run a loop. What you will do is you will delete edges from here and you will keep on adding edges in C. Fine. So let's have a look. So initially what we will do is we will assume some of the vertices as U and V. So in this first step we will assume B as U and C as V. So if you select B, then this edge is covered, this edge is covered, and if you select C, this edge is covered and this edge is covered. So let's draw this graph once again. So B, so I am drawing this covered edges with dotted lines, A, E and D. So now what you will do is you will delete BC from E and add BC to C. So C is equal to C union B comma C. So C contains B comma C. Fine. Now these are still there. Okay. Now this time you will consider E as U and F as V. So now you delete EF and ED, DF from set E dash and add these to C. So now C is equal to C union E comma F. So now your C would be B comma C comma E comma F. Now you again draw this graph, see what you will get. So next step, E, D, F and G. So this is covered, this is covered, this is covered. Okay, now we covered this one also and you are left with DG. So now what you will do is you will select D as U and G as V. Now you will add this DG into C. So C is equal to C union D comma G. Now your set C becomes B, C, E, F, D and G. Now your whole graph is covered. But if you have a look at this graph closely, what you will see is the optimal solution would be B, E and D. If you select B, then this vertex, this edge is covered, this edge is covered. If you take E, this one is covered, this one is covered and this one is covered. And if you take D, this and this is covered. So the optimal solution, which is nothing but C star, would be B, D, E and B. Okay, so now C would be 6 and C star would be 3. So what did I tell you, that for minimization you have C divided by C star should be less than equal to rho of n. So 6 by 3 should be less than equal to rho of n, which is nothing but rho of n is greater than equal to 2, and this satisfies the condition rho is greater than equal to 1. Therefore C star is equal to 3 is the optimal solution, and the optimal solution is B, E and D. So this was vertex cover problem using approximation method. So the next topic is traveling salesman problem. So what is this traveling salesman problem? So the given statement is there is a salesman and he has to cover certain number of cities, and he should cover every city and should be back to home, but he should not use the same path again, and the path in which he is traveling should cost him minimum. So you would be given a map. Okay, map has several cities, and you will be given the cost of traveling from one city to another city, and you have to find the map which he should follow so that his cost of traveling is minimum. Fine. So for this you will the step 1 would be constructing a minimum spanning tree. So how do we draw a minimum spanning tree? Suppose the traveling salesman starts from city A. City A is his hometown. So from here he will look which path is the least costing. So 75, A to E. Fine. So A to E costs him the least, which is 75. Now from E he will look which path costs him the least, 125, 125 and 50. So he will go to D, which costs him 50. Now from D he will look which costs him less, 75, 125 and 100. He will go for 75 and he will go to B. Now from B he will look for the least path, 50, 75 and 125. So he will go for the city C, which costs him 50. So you have formed a minimum spanning tree. Now what you will do is walk around. Walk around means going trace the path in reverse order. So he will go from A to E, E to D, D to B, B to C. Now again he will go from C to B, B to D, D to E and E to A. Okay, but he is repeating the same path again. But our traveling salesman problem says that you should not repeat the same path again. So what to do? You will go for step 3. Scan all the vertices and eliminate the repeated edges. Fine. So now what he will do is the ending city is C. So from here he will look how he can go from C to A without using the path we has used before, and should also be minimum. So the only way out to go back to A is this 175. Okay, so if he goes for C to D and D to A, then it will form a closed loop here. So which is disobeys the traveling salesman problem constraints. So that's why he will go from C to A, which costs him 175. So again draw A to E, E to D, D to B, B to C and again C to A. Now you will calculate the cost. So A to E costs him 75, E to D costs him 50, D to B costs him 75, B to C costs him 50 and C to A costs him 175. You will add all these and finally you would be getting 425. So this is the least price in which he can travel to all the cities and get back to his hometown. Fine. So this was about traveling salesman problem. So the next concept we are going to discuss is knapsack problem. So knapsack is nothing but a bag. Consider it as a backpack. Okay, so you have a bag and it has some certain capacity. So it can't take more than that capacity, but it can take equal to that capacity or less than that capacity. So the problem is simple. You will be given some certain things, say 1, 2, 3, 4 are certain objects and they would be having some weight. Okay, so if you are going from city A to city B, carrying these things in your backpack, then you would be getting some profit for each of the thing. Okay, so how would you carry these objects so that your profit is maximized? So this is knapsack problem. So knapsack problem can be solved using two methods. One is 0-1 knapsack and another is fractional knapsack. So 0-1 uses dynamic programming and fractional uses greedy algorithm. So what's 0-1? So 0-1, the name itself says that you can either take the whole object or you cannot take the whole object. Okay, you cannot take a fractional part of it. If some object's weight is say 5 kg and you are left with only 2.5 kg space, then you can't cut this half object and carry this in 0-1 knapsack. Whereas in fractional knapsack, you can carry half or fractional objects. Suppose, see the same example, the capacity here left in the bag is 2.5 kgs and the object is 5 kgs, then you can take half of the objects with you. So this is nothing but greedy. So fractional algorithm, fractional knapsack uses greedy algorithm and 0-1 knapsack uses dynamic programming. So in our syllabus, we are asked for 0-1 knapsack. So let's get to know with this with some example. So the question is, find the optimal solution for 01 knapsack. 01 knapsack problem making use of dynamic approach. Consider n is equal to 4, w is equal to 5. What's this n? N is the number of objects given to you and w is the capacity of that knapsack. So say 5 kgs is the capacity of that knapsack and you have in total 4 objects and you will be given profit associated with each of the object. So P1, P2, P3, P4, that means profit on carrying the first object is 3, profit on carrying the second object is 4, profit on carrying third object is 5 and profit on carrying fourth object is 6. And also you will be given weights of those corresponding objects. So W1 is 2, W2 is 3, W3 is 4 and W4 is 5. Okay. Now what you will do is, so now you will construct a table. So the number of columns in this table would be weights plus 1. So if you have 4 weights plus 1, that means capacity plus 1. So the capacity of this knapsack is 5. So 5 plus 1, that means 6 number of columns you will have, and the number of rows would be the number of objects plus 1. That means you have 4 objects, so you will have 5 rows. Fine. Now have a look at the table. So you will have 6 columns numbered 0 to 5 and you will have 5 rows. Okay, and the first column and first row of the table should always be zeros. And at the left hand side you have PI and WI. PI is nothing but profit and W is nothing but weight. So you will write weights here. So the given weights are 2, 3, 4 and 5. And one more thing you should keep note of is you will always write the weights in ascending order. Okay. And now in corresponding to that you will write the profits. So on carrying the object of weight 2 you will have profit of 3. On carrying the object of weight 3 you will have profit of 4. So for 5 you have for 4 kgs you have profit 5, for 5 kgs you have profit 6. Fine. So now okay, so ఇప్పుడు మనం ఏం చేస్తామంటే we will traverse row by row and will be filling these cells. Fine. So what you will consider here is ఈ row లో ఉన్నప్పుడు the weight of that knapsack is 1 and ఈ column లో ఉన్నప్పుడు the weight of that knapsack is 2. ఈ కాలమ్ లో వెయిట్ ఆఫ్ దట్ knapsack is 3. సో ఇక్కడ ఏం జరుగుతుందంటే ద వెయిట్ ఆఫ్ దట్ knapsack is ఇంక్రిమెంటింగ్. ఫైన్. సో ఫిల్ చేసేటప్పుడు knapsack వెయిట్ అనేది 1 అనుకుందాం. సో ఇఫ్ ద knapsack వెయిట్ is 1, అది ఓన్లీ 1 kg మాత్రమే పట్టుకెళ్ళగలదు. బట్ ద వెయిట్ హియర్ ఇస్ 2. సో 01 అంటే ఏంటి? ఈదర్ యూ విల్ టేక్ ద హోల్ థింగ్ ఆర్ యూ విల్ టేక్ నథింగ్. సో 2 kg అనేది 1 kg లో పట్టదు కాబట్టి యూ విల్ పుట్ అ 0. Then capacity increase అయింది in this row, in this column. So knapsack capacity ఇప్పుడు 2 and weight of that object is 2. So you can take it. So 2 kgs పట్టుకెళ్తే మీకు ప్రాఫిట్ ఎంత వస్తుంది? 3. So you will write here 3. Now capacity 3 వచ్చింది. సో 3కి వచ్చినప్పుడు కానీ మీ దగ్గర ఆప్షన్ ఏముంది? 2 మాత్రమే పట్టుకెళ్ళగలరు. ఈ రోలో ఉంటే యూ క్యాన్ టేక్ ఓన్లీ దీస్ ఆర్ దీనిపైన ఉన్న ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ మాత్రమే. సో ఓన్లీ 2 ఉంది కాబట్టి యూ క్యాన్ టేక్ ఓన్లీ 2 అండ్ ప్రాఫిట్ కరెస్పాండింగ్ టు ఇస్ 3. సో 3 4 kg ఉన్నా సరే మీరు 2 పట్టుకెళ్ళరు కాబట్టి 3 and 3. నౌ నెక్స్ట్ రోలో యూ హ్యావ్ 2 ఆప్షన్స్. యూ క్యాన్ ఈదర్ టేక్ 3 kg ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఆర్ 2 kg ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఆల్సో. సో ఇప్పుడు కెపాసిటీ వచ్చేసి 1. సో 1 kg కెపాసిటీ, బట్ ఇక్కడ వెయిట్స్ వచ్చేసి 2 and 3 ఉన్నాయి. సో యూ క్యాన్ టేక్ నథింగ్, దేర్ ఫోర్ 0. ఇప్పుడు 2 kg knapsack ఉంది and you have objects of 2 kg and 3 kg. Obviously you can't take the object of 3 kg, so you will take object of 3 kg. So 2 kg and profit associated to it is 3. So you will write 3. Now capacity increase అయింది, capacity is 3. So you have 2 options, weight of 2 and weight of 3. Now ఈ రెండిట్లో ఏం పట్టుకెళ్తారు? రెండు పట్టుకెళ్ళచ్చు, బట్ యూ విల్ చెక్ దట్ ఏది మనకి మాక్సిమం ప్రాఫిట్ ఇస్తుంది. సో 3 kg పట్టుకెళ్తే యూ హ్యావ్ ప్రాఫిట్ ఆఫ్ 4. దాట్స్ వై యూ విల్ టేక్ ది ఆబ్జెక్ట్ 3 విచ్ అండ్ ప్రాఫిట్ కరెస్పాండింగ్ ఇస్ 4. సో యూ విల్ రైట్ 4. సపోజ్ 2 kgది ఎక్కువ ప్రాఫిట్ ఇస్తుంది అండ్ 3 kg తక్కువ ప్రాఫిట్ ఇస్తుంది అంటే యూ విల్ టేక్ 2 kgs. Okay, now weight is 4 and you have 2 3, so you can take only 3, so 4. Now weight is 5 and you have 2 kg and 3 kg rendu patkelachchu, so you will add the profits, you will take both. So 2 plus 3 5 is equal to 5, so profit also 3 plus 4, profit is 7. Now in this row you have 3 options. You can take 2, you can take 3, you can take 4 also, and but the capacity is 1, so you can take nothing, and capacity is 2 and corresponding is 3, so 3, and capacity is 3, so you have only one option and the profit is 4, so 4. And then if the capacity is 4, so you can take 2 3 and 4, but the profit corresponding to 4 is maximum. That's why you will take 4, so profit is 5. And in 5, so now you can take 2 3 or 2 and 3 or just 4. Now you will compare the profit. So if you take 2 and 3 both, then the profit would be 7. If you take only 4, then your profit would be 5. 7 is greater than 5, so you will take 2 3 and profit is 7, so you write here 7. Now again here 0, here 3, here 4 5. Now capacity is 5, this object's weight is 5 and profit is 6. But if you take 2 and 3, your profit will be 7. So you will take 2 and 3, you will not take 5. So here 7. ఇప్పుడు మన సొల్యూషన్ ఏంటంటే the element which is present in this extreme corner is our optimal solution or the maximum profit. Therefore the answer is 7. For this solution the answer is 7. So here you have one formula. ఇప్పుడు వరకు మనం ఏం చేసాము, ఐ జనరలీ నార్మల్ లాంగ్వేజ్లో నేను మీకు చెప్పేశాను లైక్ ఇలా ఈ నంబర్స్ రాసుకోవాలని. బట్ దీనికి ఇలా రాసుకోవడానికి యూ హ్యావ్ వన్ ఫార్ములా విచ్ ఇస్ దిస్. This is the formula. You can mug it up, and I is nothing but rows and J is nothing but columns. So just formality ki you can write, substitute those values and write the ikkada manam normal ga raskunnappudu ఏ వాల్యూ వచ్చేసిందో ఆ వాల్యూ ఇక్కడ రాసేసుకోండి. సే t 1,1. fine. So write maximum t 0,1 value at I. So value at I is say 3 at 1 is 3 plus t 0,1 minus weight is 2. Okay, so దీన్ని సాల్వ్ చేసుకొని సే 1,1లో ఏముంది మనకి, 1,1లో యూ హ్యావ్ 0, సో 0 అని ఆన్సర్ రాసేస్తారు. సిమిలర్లీ మొత్తం టేబుల్కి ఇలాగా T11 T12 T13 అని చెప్పి మొత్తం పేజ్ ఫిల్ చేసేయండి. దట్స్ ఇట్. సో మీరు జనరల్గా ఏం గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలంటే నేను ఎలా అయితే మీకు ఇప్పుడు చెప్పానో అది గుర్తుపెట్టుకుని సాల్వ్ చేసేయండి. ఇట్ వుడ్ బీ ఇనఫ్. సో ద నెక్స్ట్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఇస్ బిన్ ప్యాకింగ్. సో బిన్ ప్యాకింగ్ అంటే ఏంటి, యూ హ్యావ్ బిన్స్. Consider this cylinder like thing which is bin, and you have several objects, say n objects, and every object will have some certain length, and ee bin kuda ok certain length untundi, and you will have to fill these objects into these bins. And ela fill cheyalante you have to use minimum number of bins. Suppose you have bins of height, maximum height 10, okay, capacity 10, and you have 6 objects, say L1 L2 L3 L4 L5 and L6, and the height of those objects is 5 6 3 7 5 and 4. So lower bound means minimum number of bins which are required. ఎలా calculate చేస్తామంటే you will add the heights of all those elements and you will divide it by the length of each bin. So you will need minimum 3 number of bins to occupy all these objects. So ఇది ఫైండ్ చేయడానికి you have 4 methods: first fit, best fit, first fit decreasing and best fit decreasing. Fine. So first thing, first fit. So first fit is nothing but FIFO kind of first come first serve. First come first serve method అనేది ఫాలో చేస్తుంది. సో యూ విల్ రైట్ 5 6 3 7 5 4. దీస్ ఆర్ ది లెంత్స్ ఆఫ్ L1 L2 L3 L4 L5 అండ్ L6. వీటిని బిన్స్ లోకి ఫిల్ చేయాలి. ఏది ముందు వస్తే దాన్ని ముందు పెట్టేస్తాం. ఫైన్. సో అండ్ బిన్ కెపాసిటీ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ 10 ఆల్రెడీ గివెన్. సో ఓకే, బిన్ డ్రా చేసుకున్నాం. ఫస్ట్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఇస్ 5. సో యూ ఫిల్డ్ 5. Now the second object is 6, but 6 దీంట్లో ఫిట్ అవ్వదు ఎందుకంటే 6 plus 5 is 11 and the maximum capacity is 10. సో కొత్త బిన్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకుని కొత్త బిన్లో 6 పెడతాం. దెన్ కమ్స్ 3. సో 3 అనేది ఇక్కడ ఫిట్ అవుతుంది. సో యూ విల్ పుట్ 3 హియర్. దెన్ కమ్స్ 7. సో 7 అనేది ఎక్కడ ఫిట్ అవ్వట్లేదు కాబట్టి ఇంకో బిన్ క్రియేట్ చేసి అక్కడ 7ని ప్లేస్ చేస్తున్నాం. దెన్ కమ్స్ 5. 5 వాంట్ ఫిట్ ఇన్ this one and this one. So again you will create another bin and you will put 5 here. Then comes 4. 4 can be occupied in this bin above 6. So how many number of bins you are using here? 1 2 3 4. 4 bins. 4 bins using first fit method, first come first serve method. So next is బెస్ట్ ఫిట్ మెథడ్. సో బెస్ట్ ఫిట్ మెథడ్లో ఏం చేస్తామంటే వీ డూ ఇన్స్పెక్ట్. మనం చూస్తాము దట్ ఏ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఎక్కడ పర్ఫెక్ట్గా ఫిట్ అవుతుంది అనేది. సో ఫైన్. సో ఫస్ట్ వాట్ విల్ డూ ఇస్ ఒక బిన్ డ్రా చేసాం అండ్ యూ విల్ పుట్ 5 హియర్. 5 పెట్టాం. దెన్ యూ విల్ లుక్ ఇక్కడ విచ్ ఫిట్స్ బెస్ట్. సో 5 విల్ ఫిట్ హియర్ బెస్ట్. సో యూ విల్ పుట్ 5 హియర్. Then comes 6. Then what fits best ante 4 fits best, so you will put 4 here. Okay, you are done with this and this. And then 7, say 3 and 7. So using best fit you have 3 bins. And the most efficient one, which is the first fit and best fit decreasing. Here what you will do is మనం ఉన్న లెంత్స్ అన్నిటిని డిక్రీజింగ్ ఆర్డర్లో రాసుకుంటాం. 7 6 5 5 4 3. నౌ ఇక్కడికి వచ్చి ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తామంటే డిక్రీజింగ్ ఆర్డర్లో రాసిన తర్వాత యూ విల్ ఫాలో ఫస్ట్ కమ్ ఫస్ట్ సర్వ్ అండ్ బెస్ట్ ఫిట్ మెథడ్. ఓకే, సో ఫస్ట్ ఫిట్ డిక్రీజింగ్ ఎలా చేస్తాం? సో 7. సో 7 అనేది ముందు వచ్చింది కాబట్టి యూ విల్ రైట్ 7. దెన్ కమ్స్ 6. సో యూ విల్ రైట్ 6. దెన్ కమ్స్ 5. Then comes 5. 5 ఇక్కడ మంచిగా ఫిట్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, దెన్ యూ హ్యావ్ 4 can be fitted here. Then comes 3. So 3 can be fitted here. And again 3 bins లో వర్క్ జరిగిపోతుంది. So this is first fit and best fit decreasing. So this was about bin packing method. So the next concept is convexity and concavity. So for the first convexity and concavity అంటే ఏంటో తెలుసుకుందాం. So for one dimensional functions, so suppose you have function f of x. Okay, if you differentiate it 2 times and after differentiating it 2 times if it is greater than equal to 0 then it is convex. Fine. If it is f double dash of x is greater than equal to 0 it is convex. Example x square. Fine. If you differentiate it 2 times then it will be greater than equal to 0. Then if it is less than equal to 0 it is concave. Fine. So మనం ఏం గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి? If it is greater than equal to it is convex. If it is less than equal to it is concave. What? Double dash. Okay. If it is both for some points then it is neither concave nor convex. ఇది ఎక్కడ జరుగుతుంది అంటే in x cube and trigonometric functions. ఓకే, ట్రిగ్నోమెట్రిక్ ఫంక్షన్స్ ఎలా ఉంటాయి? ఇలా ఉంటాయి. సో దీన్ని డబల్ డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు అట్ టైమ్స్ యూ విల్ గెట్ పాజిటివ్ వాల్యూ, అట్ టైమ్స్ యూ విల్ గెట్ నెగటివ్ వాల్యూ. దట్స్ వై ఇట్ ఈస్ నీదర్ కాన్కేవ్ అండ్ నీదర్ కాన్వెక్స్. సో దిస్ వాస్ ఫర్ వన్ డైమెన్షనల్ ఫంక్షన్. దిస్ మే నాట్ బి ఆస్క్డ్ ఇన్ ఎగ్జామ్, బట్ కాన్సెప్ట్ క్లియర్ చేయడానికి చెప్పాను. Now the next is for higher differential problems. So this would be asked in our exam. Here what we do is we use Hessian matrix. Okay, Hessian matrix is nothing but a మ్యాట్రిక్స్, అండ్ ఆ మ్యాట్రిక్స్లో మనకి ప్రిన్సిపల్ మైనర్స్ అనేవి ఉంటాయి. అవి యూజ్ చేసుకుని వి ప్రూవ్ దట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ కాన్వెక్స్ ఆర్ స్ట్రిక్ట్లీ కాన్వెక్స్ ఆర్ కాన్కేవ్ ఆర్ స్ట్రిక్ట్లీ కాన్కేవ్ ఆర్ నీదర్ ఆఫ్ దెమ్. సో ఇఫ్ a Hessian matrix is positive semi-definite, then it is a convex. What does this positive semi-definite mean? That means if d1 is greater than 0 and d2 d3 are greater than equal to zeros, ante ee principal minors anevi greater than equal to 0 vaste these are convex. Okay, if it is only greater than 0 vaste it is strictly convex. And ఆల్టర్నేట్ గా వస్తాయి. ఆల్టర్నేట్ మీన్స్ ఒకటి గ్రేటర్ దెన్, నెక్స్ట్ ది లెస్ దెన్, అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ ఇది గ్రేటర్ దెన్, మళ్ళీ లెస్ దెన్, అంటే అవి కాన్కేవ్. బట్ వన్ థింగ్ యూ షుడ్ కీప్ ఇన్ మైండ్ ఇస్ ద ఫస్ట్ ప్రిన్సిపల్ మైనస్ షుడ్ బి లెస్ దెన్ 0, అండ్ ఆ తర్వాత నుంచి ఆల్టర్నేట్ అవ్వచ్చు. ఫైన్. సో మేబీ యూ వుడ్ నాట్ హ్యావ్ అండర్స్టూడ్ హర్షియన్ మ్యాట్రిక్స్ ఏంటో ఎగ్జాంపుల్తో ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తే యూ విల్ గెట్ టు నో ఇట్ బెటర్. Fine. So you have this question: discuss the convexity of the function f of x, x1 square plus x2 square plus x1 plus x2 minus 1. So first what we will do is we will draw a Hessian matrix. So Hessian matrix అనేది ఎలా ఉంటుంది? Hessian, the size of this matrix depend upon the number of variables you have in this function. Okay, so you have two variables x1 and x2, so the size of the matrix would be 2 by 2. Suppose if you had three variables x1 x2 and x3, then the size of the matrix would be 3 by 3. So how do we construct this matrix? H is equal to right here you have two variables, right? So ikkada ila raskondi rough ga d of x, d of f by d of x, d of f by d of x2, here d of f by d of x1, and again d of f by d of x2. Okay, so now ఇది multiply చేసి ఇక్కడ రాయండి. that means d square f by dx1 square. ఇది multiply చేసి ఇక్కడ రాయండి. that means d square f upon dx1 dx2. ఇది multiply చేసి ఇక్కడ, that means e square f upon dx1 dx2 dx1 and d square f upon dx2 square. So what's happening here is you will double differentiate the function f with respect to x1 two times, double differentiate, and then here what's happening is first you will differentiate with respect to x2, then you will differentiate with respect to x1. Here first you will differentiate with respect to x1, then you will differentiate with respect to x2. Here you will double differentiate f with respect to x2, and you will finally you will get a Hessian matrix. See, so on differentiating f of x with respect to x1, so you will get what you will get is 2x1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 0 minus 0. So 2x1 plus 1 is differentiating d of f with respect to x1. Now again differentiate it with respect to x1, so d square f upon dx1 square. So again on differentiating you will get 2. Similarly the other values also. So finally you will get the matrix 2 0 0 and 2. Ikkada what does this principal minor mean? So here d1 is this and d2 is this. Fine. So d1 is equal to 2 and d2 is determinant of these 4. So 2 into 2 minus 0 into 0, which is nothing but 4. So it is greater than 0, it is greater than 0. So it is greater than, that means it is positive definite, and positive definite means it is strictly convex. Okay, so principal minor unko sar chepta. See, if you have a 3 by 3 matrix, say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, here d1 is 1, here d2 is these determinant of these 4, and d3 is determinant of this. Okay, I hope you understand. Fine. So here, this was the question for strictly convex. Now next, you have another question. Here also you will construct a Hergen. Here first check how many number of variables, 2, x1 and x2. So the Hergen matrix d square f upon dx1 square, d square f upon dx1 dx2, d square f upon dx2 dx1, d square f upon dx2 square. Fine. So upon differentiating, you would be finding values minus 4, 2, 2, minus 2, minus 4. Okay. Now principal minus. So d1 is minus 4, d1 is equal to minus 4, and d2 is minus 4 into minus 4 minus 2 into minus 2. So 16 minus 4, which is nothing but 12, which is greater than 0, and this is less than 0. So if you observe, d1 is less than 0 and d2 is greater than 0. So alternating signs starting with less than that. So this is strictly concave. And the last question, this was asked in our test 2. Here what they asked is the optimization of a function given by the objective function, that is minimize x1 plus x2. So this is the objective function, minimize x1 plus x2, and subjected to the constraints. The constraints are x1 square plus x2 square less than equal to 1. This is the first constraint, and x2 square is less than x2. This is the second constraint, where x1 and x2 are greater than equal to 0. So determine whether the given function is convex or not. So ఇప్పటి వరకు మనం ఏం చేసాము, we just had one equation and we found that it is concave or convex. But now you have one equation and you have two constraints for it. So how would you solve this? So simple. You will take g1 constraint 1 and g2 constraint 2. You will find convexity of this. You will find convexity of this, and finally conclude the answer. So g1 is x1 square plus x2 square minus 1 less than equal to 0, and g2 is x2 square minus x2 less than equal to 0. First you will make Hergen matrix for g1. So upon drawing the Hergen matrix, you get 2 0 0 2. So here d1 is equal to 2, which is greater than 0, d2 is equal to 4, which is greater than 0. That means it is strictly convex. Similarly for g2 also you will get the same Hergen matrix. I didn't solve the complete question, but you need to solve that in exam. So for g2 also you will get 2 0 0 2, same thing, and this is also strictly convex. Therefore since the constraints are strictly convex, the objective function is also strictly convex. So this was all about CO3. I hope this was clear. Do like, share and subscribe, and also comment your doubts in the comment section. The PDF for this notes will be provided in the description. Thank you.